Don't be angry with me, because ultimately, I didn't do this to you. You did this to you. Let it begin! All right, first
All right,
up.
Dave.
Oh, my goodness. What do you want, Joyless Joey?
Oh, I thought I got to start the jerk list this week because I did such a stellar job last week.
Why would you think that? I gave you, out of the goodness, the generosity of my spirit and heart, I let you do one.
Yeah, I got another one this week.
It was good last week, so I'll let's put it on the back burner. If we have time, we'll get to it. All right, first up, the NFL. This 2-week break between the championship game, all the excitement of 3 weeks' worth of playoff action. That Green Bay Giants game was one for the books. It was a fantastic game, and now we got to wait 2 weeks, and that leads us to having to hear about Tom Brady walking around in a ski boot and whether or not he's going to play, when of course he's going to play. NFL, you give me a lot of glee. You've given me so much joy over the many years. But I got to tell you, this week and next week, for making me wait 2 weeks for the Super Bowl, you're a jerk! All right, next up, another one of the major leagues, Major League Baseball, specifically Bud Selig, the commissioner, who just had his contract extended because who could possibly question the wonderful work he's done since he took over the position. Anyway, he had a press conference the other day, and he got a cell phone call in the middle of it. Take a listen closely to what happens.
I'm grateful. I told him this morning, at least in my world, there's no higher. I get fined for my cell phone going. I've told my wife I'll punch her out.
Oh, wow. Bud Selig's going to punch his wife out? It's just my wife? He says it's just my wife? She'll be no problem for me. I'll make quick work of her. I can take her down easily. All right, Bud Selig, if that's the way you want to play it, while your ball players are all juicing up, you're busy smacking your lady around. Well, how about this? Two can play at that game. You're a jerk! Deal with that. All right. It's sad that what's his name died, the Joker. Brokeback Mountain.
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger, I'm sorry. I couldn't think of his name. All right, you know what? I do it to myself. If I make a mistake, I'm memorializing, eulogizing Heath Ledger. The Joker, by the way, that Dark Knight looks just fantastic, so it's a shame. But anyway, by the way, I couldn't remember his name. Just a quick one there, Dick Banks. Just wing me a little bit. Don't take me down for good or anything. But Dave Damashek, you're a jerk. Ooh, wow. Very subtle. Wow. I barely even felt that one. I don't think I deserved it. Anyway, so Heath Ledger, he dies, and it is very sad. He's 28, and so on and so forth. Had a bright career ahead of him. But here's the thing. I have had it with society leaving flowers on the sidewalk when a celebrity dies. It's a little ridiculous. All right, Princess Di died, and then all of England poured out their affection in the form of flowers. But all right, when anybody dies now, we don't need to go and drop off flowers to somebody who you never knew in the first place. And that goes double. Nay, like a horse, pun intended, nay, it's twice as bad when you do it for a horse like Barbaro, when America poured out the flowers for a horse. Well, if you're leaving flowers for someone who you don't know, there's something wrong in your head. And if you don't realize that, maybe the sting of the Han Solo Edition blaster will help remind you of that. In other words, if you're leaving flowers for people who have died and you don't know them, you're a jerk! All right, let me settle down here a little bit. I said my heart is really more focused on happiness than on sorrow right now. Let's hand out the Get Out of Jerk Free card. Now, in case you aren't familiar with the Get Out of Jerk Free card, this goes to anyone who might, down the line, fall into some jerky behavior. It happens from time to time. You just heard it happen to me, as a matter of fact. We're all human. Now, the Get Out of Jerk Free card buys you out of any trouble down the line. You find yourself on the jerk list, and you find yourself in the crosshairs. Hold on, Dave. Don't shoot just yet. I got the Get Out of Jerk Free card. All right, we're even Steven. That's how it works. All right, this week, first of all, Joyless Joey mentioned yesterday on the show, no, he's not getting the Get Out of Jerk Free card. Don't get excited there. Mentioned we got 84,000 downloads of our podcast on the show, so that's terrific. So anyone who downloaded anything from the show, you get the Get Out of Jerk Free card. Ooh, we're going to have to work overtime. 84,000 of those Get Out of Jerk Free cards. Also, Prince Akeem, played by Eddie Murphy in Coming to America. Everyone, a lot of people, their careers are predicated on trying to pick games. But Prince Akeem did it, and must have some sort of time machine. He must be some sort of magic man, because he shot Coming to America 20 years ago, this movie, and said this to John Amos in one scene, I guess talking about last Sunday's NFC Championship game.
The Giants of New York took on the Packers of Green Bay, and in the end, the Giants triumphed by kicking an oblong ball made of pigskin to a big H.
Pretty impressive stuff. So, Prince Akeem, you get the Get Out Jerk free card. And you know what? I'm going to throw one in at the last minute. Luke Robitaille for being a delight. And don't applaud that, Dick Banks. Keep your mind in the game, boy.
That's a good guy.
You're holding the Han Solo Edition blaster. You can't be setting that thing down to applaud anything.
All right.
Take me down to the paradise city where the grass is green, the girls are pretty.
Luke Robitaille belting out some GNR. Anyway, so we got to get back to the jerks here. But so yeah, I gave one to Luke Robitaille just to make it clear. He gets one for singing and signing off on all my great ideas. Anyway, Britney Spears. I'm watching the news over the weekend, and the anchor on the local ABC says this.
Britney Spears is not in trouble with the law tonight.
That's newsworthy? How bad has your life gotten when it is newsworthy that you aren't in trouble with the law on a given day? What? She broke her 184-day-long streak of running afoul of the law? Wow, we got to talk about that. Let's lead with that. We'll get to the Iraq War in a little bit. Britney Spears, things have officially gotten real bad for you, and they're about to get worse. Guess what, baby doll? You're a jerk! All right, I'm going to skip over some here just for the sake of time. I've got a lot of good ones, too. Oh, boy, this is rough. All right, I do want to make mention of this. This has been showing up all over the online this week. A lot of people enjoy him in Mission Impossible, so on and so forth. But Tom Cruise, we all knew he was into Scientology, but I don't know if I even knew how crazy he was with this Scientology business. There's some video that he made for Scientologists. Let's just take a listen to a little chunk of that.
Being a Scientologist, when you drive past an accident, it's not like anyone else. As you drive past, you know you have to do something about it because you know you're the only one that can really help. But that's what drives me, is that I know that we have an opportunity and to really help.
Who do you think you are? Do you think you're one of your characters in Mission Impossible? Ethan, what's your name? You're not really a special agent. You don't have any superpowers. What do you think we're the only ones who can help Scientologists if you see a car wrecked on the side of the road. What about some EMT guys who drive around in ambulances? How about cops? How about firemen? I'll take any of those three options over you, Tom Cruise, and any of your Scientology freak friends. Just ridiculous. That's all that needs to be said. Tom Cruise, you're a jerk. All right, I had to skip so much. Let's just get right to the creep of the week here. Creep of the week. He or she is the creep of the week. All right, this week, there's a guy who has filed a $500 million lawsuit against the WNBA. A guy from Kansas City claims that the WNBA was stolen from him. He had the idea for the WNBA, and he's upset because they moved forward without compensating him for this. Lightning Mitchell is his name, by the way.
Oh,
that raises a red flag. That's a red flag. Wow. I do feel his pain in this regard. I came up with ESPN Classic back in about 1983. I said to all my friends as a 13-year-old lad, you know, it would be awesome to see all the games from the 70s on TV. Everybody said, who would ever sit there and watch old games? I said, I would, for one. Everybody laughed me off. And then about 10 years later, well, ESPN Classic's a big hit for the worldwide leader. I never got paid for that. But listen, I don't want to get into my personal affairs.
Your friends should be on the jerk list.
The difference is ESPN Classic was a great idea. People like it. The WNBA, conversely, who watches this? Who sits around and watch? I don't know a single sports fan, men and women, women who love to play sports, love to watch sports. I've asked them, do you watch the WNBA? I've never met a single solitary human being who watches this sport, and somehow through the inertia of the NBA, the influence of the NBA, well, if you want us, you got to keep this hooey on your network. But I have to watch this instead of watching NHL hockey? Stop claiming that you created the worst thing to happen to sports in the last 50 years. Hey, Lightning Mitchell, guess what? You may have created the WNBA, but you're the creep of the week.
The Jerk List with Dave Damashek reporting. Until